Hey guys, welcome to Me, Myself, and I.
So I'm Naomi.
And I'm Niti.
So our channel is all about dating, sex, and psychology.
And you can find us on Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram.
So stay tuned.
Okay, so as a man, what are some difficulties you've encountered while dating women?
Kind of off the jump is like, I feel like there's no like set way to approach a woman where you're like guaranteed. Like DMs, I feel like it's so like these women these days are getting 1,000. They got blue checkmark demons just spamming their stuff. Like, how are you getting her attention? And then in person, I feel like there's a very fine line between like approaching a girl in person where it like works out like cute and she's like, oh, I met this cute guy today, or it's like, some creep was asking for my number today, which is like, I don't know. It's very hard to like find the right balance. And I think honestly, sometimes I think about it and I'm like, it doesn't really matter what you say. Like it's either she likes you immediately or like she like. Because some guys could say, like, send the worst DM you've ever seen in your life, and if he's hot enough, she'll respond. But you could sit there at home crafting the craziest dissertation, thesis, best message ever, and if you're, like, beat, she's just going to let it. She's just going to not say anything.
But do you find that it's hard, like, when you're approaching girls, like, are they taking it the wrong way in person?
In person? Sometimes. I feel like not a lot of guys approach women in public, like outside in the real world, especially these days. I don't know, like, I feel like not a lot of guys who like, I'm trying to think. From my friends, what I hear is, I don't hear a lot about my friends like being like, oh, like this really cute guy, like a guy that she wanted, talk to her. But it's a lot of like, you're walking down the street and some like guy on the corner is like, yo, you're mad fine still. Like it's more of that than like actual genuine approaches.
What about in the club?
In the club, like that's what honestly in the club is the perfect scenario for what Naomi was saying. In terms of it's like a lot of the time if you're meeting a girl in the club, you're getting like she's too hard to get, that type of thing. Like you gotta do like the most. First of all, it's hard to talk to her. So if you're like trying to show personality, that's not really gonna work. So it's like either, and like it's hard to know when to approach a girl in the club. I feel like the club is like a really bad place. Because it's like a bunch of guys have if she's bad, a bunch of guys have probably already approached her, and she might be sick of it already. So even like if you talk to her at the start of the night, you're like mad cute, maybe you would have gotten it, but by then she's like, oh, I'm sick and tired of this, like I'm fed up, you know, like that type of thing.
Or you might not know who she's with, like if she's out with the promoters, like
That's
you
what
don't
I'm
know if they're talking,
maybe she has
you
a
don't
boyfriend,
know.
all of this stuff. Like in a club, like it's just such a hard place.
Girls are always with men.
And because
you don't know what the relationship is.
That's what I'm saying. And like unless I feel like the only time I'm really approaching a girl in the club is if I'm like quite sure like I can like get her. But girls don't show a lot of signs, you know? Like I feel like you guys think you show a lot of signs, but they're the worst signs ever. You're like, I glanced in his direction 3 times. He better come over and talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like, I'm surrounded by, first of all, 1,000 people.
It takes a lot of energy just to hold that eye contact
You
for
should be
a few
telepathic.
seconds. So once you get that, it's like...
It takes a lot of practice. Like, I feel like I've gotten better at being able to tell, because, like, even just the other day, like, a girl, like, kind of looked at me, and, like, it was a little too long, so, like, I wanted to talk to her later. But I feel like, most of the time, like, I don't notice a lot of girls, like, who, like, want you to approach them in the club, because it's just... Like, the signs are just terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they're terrible. And later, they're like, if you know them from somewhere, or they'll be like, oh, like, why don't you talk to me? And I'm like, you looked at me like this, looked down, looked left, looked at me again, and you thought, like, it ain't a cheat code. There's no left, right, and I know. Like, how about you? I'm a firm believer in girls. Just if you think a guy's cute, you have a much better chance of getting him than the guy doesn't getting you. Just approach him.
Yeah.
Like, chances are you're not going to get rejected. And, like, even if you do, like, it's going to be in the nicest way possible, because guys don't get a lot of compliments, so you're going to be flattered out of his mind.
It takes a lot for me to go up to a guy, I can't even lie.
That's what I'm saying.
I have to think you're really...
I don't know why,
fine.
for me, I really did not care.
Like, I
mean,
think
they have to be
attractive.
but
Like,
yeah,
I have to really want you, or else I'm like...
Yeah, but if, like, there's a guy that you think is, like, kind of cute, kind of interesting, you're not approaching him.
Unless, no, he has to be, like, really...
Like, unless Michael B. Jordan is in the club, you're not pulling up.
Wow, I'm going to miss out if I don't
That's
try.
What I'm saying.
It has to be that. Like, if I think, like, okay, I'll regret it if I don't go up to him, then I'll go up. But if it's, like...
I was always that friend who would even, like, go up for other girls.
See, that, I think, is honestly, that's a valid method, too.
Yeah.
Because that one works. Like, if I think the girl is, like, cute and, like, her friend comes up and she's like, oh, like, my friend's trying to talk to you, it, like... I feel like if it was the other way reverse, you're losing points, but that way works perfectly. Like, if it was a guy and he's, like, you're a grown man. If you're getting your friend to say... Like, that just feels hostile to me. If you're like,
Girls are
oh,
doing it though.
I think it is high school.
my friend thinks you're cute. Then if I'm a guy, like a guy's doing that, I feel like it's definitely ick for the
Yeah.
girl.
Just think at our age, like we can, everyone
Yeah.
can hold their own.
Yeah.
You know.
But the women don't, and that's a problem.
But what are some other turn-offs? Like, what about online? Are you on Tinder, Bumble?
No. I've been a DM warrior in my day. It's
Or
been bad.
how are the
I can't
DMs?
Whoa.
I can't lie. DMs is hard. DMs is because like when you meet them on Tinder, it's like you kind of already know like if they want you or not, and like they kind of like. But DMs is just so like hit or miss. So
Yeah.
I can't lie. It's very bad. But like I've sent out many. Like I was doing experiments where I'd have different lines to use.
DM experiments.
Like different lines to use in the DMs, and I like send them, and like I would like record or keep a track of like the hit rate for those lines, and I
Hey, that's a good strategy.
you know,
wow, look at this man. Over
I can't
here.
lie,
I was doing stats.
Yeah.
I was running stats, and like it's worked out well enough, but it also works out very bad,
Okay, so
especially in
give me your-
Toronto because every girl knows each other, and then it's like when you meet a girl that you really want, she's like. One of her friends, chances are you've hit her in the DMs. She's like, oh, like he was in my DMs. This is this.
Okay, wait, but what is your number one? What was your statistically the number one line?
Number one line?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, there's an art to it. First, you gotta follow the girl. Make sure I'm giving out free game. Make sure your
Listen
page,
up, men.
make sure your page
This
is
is a
public.
free game.
That has helped because
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, if you're private, that's so fact. I don't
Yeah.
reply to private.
that's what I'm saying. Because first of all, like I follow her, and then if she follows me back, I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. Because
Yeah.
like private, she could be following you back just to see how ugly you are. But if she's already seen you and she follows you back, then maybe it's like
That's
either you
true,
know
yeah.
someone mutually or she's like kind of interested. Then maybe I like one or two pictures. Maybe not the most recent. She knows I was looking, and I try not to like anything where it's like too crazy, where it's like she at the beach and her booty's hanging out, because that's like, oh, maybe this guy's like on some fuck shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I try to like some casual, and then I like if she likes one of mine back, I'm like it's go time.
Yeah.
I can send whatever DM I want. Like at that point, I'm like, all right, I'm using anything. But if she doesn't, then I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot of trying to read people.
What if she doesn't like it back?
If she doesn't like it back, then I'm looking at her account, like trying to read like what kind of girl she might be. Like maybe it's like I find one that works really well is if she's like posting a bunch of like fit stuff. Like try less to compliment like, oh, you're really pretty, or more like your style's like elite. Like that's a nice fit. Because then I feel like that one works better because it's like a lot of guys are saying like, oh, you're beautiful, this.
Yeah, but the
And I feel like the style one, like they like you like that compliment. When I get it, I'm like, I
Yeah.
prefer that to my, because I'm
I
like,
got that too. I'm
they
not
think
gonna
I'm
lie.
nice.
And I
like
wasn't
that.
interested in the guy, but like we did end up having a conversation just because I was like, oh, like you actually
noticed my
appreciate
style,
my
yeah.
fits,
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
thanks.
saying.
Yeah,
Or
so I
it's
feel
like-
like that's a good one.
Or I try and like hit something funny, like a video. I use video or meme ones a lot. I don't know, like a
I like
picture.
the meme videos.
The meme ones, it's like if you
That's
can
fun.
find like a good one that's like funny enough, and if she likes your sense of humor, like and that one can really help you. I feel like.
I think
'Cause
the humor is the best way.
Yeah.
Because then you can also see right off the bat if you have like the same sense of humor.
Yeah.
it's like, and even if she's like not interested in you and like that, like if you send like a humorous one, like I've gotten a lot more replies with the humorous one, because even then, like even if she doesn't want you, she'll reply and be like, haha, like I was kind of good at making you laugh, but I'm not interested. And like at least that way, it's like you made someone laugh or whatever. So I feel like humor, like I would stand by this. Images and like meme ones are really good. That's just me personally.
Has there been any issues like you found, like any troubles with like even in just like dating, like going on dates or like keeping a girl or like the talking stage, like?
Well, another one is like even just branching off what we just said, like getting onto the actual date is completely different than like having a conversation online.
Yeah.
Like getting her to actually leave her house and go out with you.
That
it's-
takes a lot.
It takes a lot. I can't lie.
Really?
Yeah.
People just aren't hesitant or like?
I think people just get really comfortable just texting or FaceTiming or whatever, and it's like
They're
to
not
actually
trying to-
go on the date. Like we actually have to get ready. We have to plan our
That's what I'm
time
saying.
and a place, and like how long it's gonna be. How are we both getting there? How are we getting
Yeah.
back?
And that's where the dangers lie, because while you're texting her, like you're saying more and more words, and chances are there one of them is gonna scare her off. So you're like trying to do your best to get.
You're really
the
making it sound horrible.
I
man.
do think the
I'm
texting, like,
wow.
just with dating too. In my experience, like the sooner you have that actual first date, the better it's gonna go.
Like-
Either-
Yeah.
Not even just like for a successful relationship, but just to see like where you
Yeah.
guys, if you guys even just get along.
Yeah.
Because the texting,
And like to try not to get friend zoned, like I recommend like trying to make your intentions like
That's
on
true.
early.
When it's
Like
like-
I'll make her laugh a couple times, we'll text back and forth, and I'll be like, hey, like I'll be straight up to I find straight up works the best. Like I'm like, hey, like I think you're cute, this is this, like I'm trying to get to know you more. Can I take you out sometime? and I'll be like,
Yeah, I feel like being upfront is definitely good.
upfront like works a lot better than like, I don't know.
letting it just.
I also feel like if it just keeps going on, like the girl won't.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
we're just joking
If it
around,
goes on
then
too-
I'm not gonna.
I wouldn't take it seriously.
Yeah, you're not getting anywhere.